My conversation today on Inside the Wounds is with Yannick Lehmann. He's a guitarist of Paleface Swiss, and he's a guitar teacher. Today, we're talking about the upcoming Paleface record, Cursed, along with the origin stories of the band and how kindness and happiness tends to be the key to writing the heaviest music possible. I'm Joaquin Rodriguez, and this is Inside the Wounds with Yannick Lehmann. It feels like Paleface has had its foot on the gas nonstop for the past
Dude,
handful of years.
dude,
Um, yeah, like how have you
crazy.
all been? Yeah, how have you all been able to be like so efficient and so organized, like during because it seems like you have such a demanding schedule.
I really, guess, I think that comes natural, and we all want to just push forward and yeah, give all we got. And I mean, there has to be a good organization and stuff, but we are all like 100% into it, and yeah, that's how it works.
Gotcha. Yeah, and I guess like what's the strategy? Like what does the workflow look like for you? Like especially like when it comes like to writing new material.
Mostly, this it's just Sally and I. So we when we meet up, when we have a studio session, we just brainstorm. I'll get of course I record my own ideas at home, and then I bring like a Dropbox folder full of ideas with me, and then we just like gluing the things together and writing the parts that were missing. So I think that's the way we write our songs. And after when we have like a ground structure, we bring it to a real studio. Um, then Kasi, our drummer, joins, and he give us his inputs, and then we kind of finish the songs. And yeah, I think that's how it works.
Yeah.
Of course, we always go to our tour manager Ron studio. He lives in Tenerife. It's a island in Spain.
Okay.
Yeah, he lives there. He has a cool recording studio there, so we always go there. And he is always with us in the writing sessions, so he gives us a lot of input as well. But basically, mostly it's just Sally and I. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
And I know I see a lot of Instagram footage of y'all in the studio. Is that your home studio where you guys are like filming a lot of those Instagram videos, or is that the studio in Spain?
Mostly, I think that's my studio, but we actually in the last time, also like in the last couple of time periods, we were in different studios. But mostly, I think that's my home studio in my father's basement.
Nice.
That's
That's
where
awesome.
we do all the demo recordings, kind of.
Gotcha. I love a lot of those videos. Like I I started, following you guys like during the Fear and Dagger and just seeing a lot of like the studio Instagram videos on that. You guys put a lot of energy, even just like to the demo process, which is really exciting to see.
Thanks, man. But I think during the Fear and Dagger songwriting process, we also used to be a lot in our rehearsal room, because before our home studio in my father's basement, we recorded everything in the rehearsal room. So I think actually the whole Fear and Dagger album was recorded in the rehearsal room, and then the demos for Please Amp Me, Best Before Death, and The Gallow, they were written in my home studio, or in our home studio.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. That's awesome. And, so we often hear artists talk about, the blood, the sweat, and the tears that go into projects. For you guys, do you, what are some moments that felt like most meaningful and maybe even difficult or painful during this new album writing process?
The new album writing process.
Yeah.
So I think there weren't tears. There were just joy and happiness,
Okay.
actually. Um. So I mean, yeah, we had a good time. So uh, try to imagine you're at the beach with like palm trees and
Yeah.
warm weather, and writing the most dark album that gets. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there weren't tears.
Okay.
There was just joy and happiness and like
Just having
all
a good
in.
time.
Yeah, just having a good time, right?
That's awesome. Okay. And I guess with that being said, can you tell us a little bit about the new album that's coming out?
Definitely, it's going to be our most personal album with very meaningful lyrics, especially when it goes, to having a bad time, when you're feeling sad or angry, and that were all the emotions which goes into the songs. We try to get into the mood, kind of. You know what I mean? We try to get in the mood, but still be like happy.
Right.
It was always like a little mixture of everything, but it's gonna be an interesting album.
Yeah, for sure. And I guess let's break down that first single. In your own words, what does the song Hatred mean to you?
To me, I think for me that's the most personal song because it was the first one we wrote. The very very first demo for this song was written in the US, actually, when we were like right before the tour, right before our headline tour last September, October. We rented a house with our good friends in Landmarks. So we had like a few days off, a few days of vacation,
Mm-hmm.
and then we rented a big house, and we were like 10 or 13 people, and everyone had his room, and we did like a little demo recording studio. We built a demo recording studio, and then we wrote that demo for that song. And also like Flo from Landmarks, which is our producer as well. He helped us as well. He gave us a lot of inputs for the song, and that's the song which started the whole new album thing, right?
Gotcha.
And yeah, and I think it's the most angry song in my opinion.
It
Like
definitely sounds angry.
the most, like the song who goes like all in straight angry, so
Right. And one thing that like stood out to me immediately, like even just the intro of the song, right? Guitars sound very thrashy. Then you get just the call and return like type of screams. Is it both you and is it both of you screaming? Because I hear two
yes,
different voices.
yes,
Okay.
yeah. That's all. We always do it like this because it feels like when there's two voices, it feels like it's a little bit more compact. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny because I've heard a lot of the same things where a lot of people are saying it sounds like a heavier and an angrier version of Slipknot. I see where they're coming from. It definitely sounds like Paleface, right? I don't want to compare it to any other band, but I just love just that aggressiveness. Just again, you said it immediately right out of the gates, very angry, and I love it. I'm excited for what the rest of this album is, gonna hold. I'm excited.
Thanks, man. What I can say, we experimented a lot, so there's more to come, like way different stuff to come. So I'm excited as well. But it feels for me right now, it feels that we wrote the perfect album, which we can identify as Paleface Swiss. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. And I guess let's dig into that. What does it mean to have a perfect album?
For me, what?
Yeah.
That's a good question. I mean, how does it feel? I mean, I'm very happy with the album, and also very happy that I was able to, how do I say that? To get my influences, because I come from the heavy metal and thrash metal genre, and I was able to put a lot of that stuff into the new album and try to mix it with our angriness with the heaviness of Paleface Swiss. So yeah, for me it feels perfect.
Yeah, that's actually a good segue because my next question for you was basically like what got you into like metal? Because I've noticed that a lot about your guitar playing. You do have a very thrashy influence in your guitar playing. So can you tell me a little bit about how life was growing up in Switzerland and where like what got you into metal?
It was my father actually. He had a big CD collection, and I was always like impressed by the scary album covers. And then one day I discovered a band called Halloween.
Okay.
They had like a monster who attacked a city on their album cover. And then I listened to it, and it's a power metal band. So
Okay.
I grew up listening to power metal, but in that time, or in the first moment I listened to it, it was the angriest thing I've ever listened to. So I think that catched me. And then things came by itself. I mean, I discovered AC/DC, Rammstein, Slipknot, of course. Uh, and things came natural. And then I discovered Creator, which is my all-time favorite band, and I think that's the reason why I listen to thrash metal.
Right.
But the actual reason which made me start playing guitar was the guitarist of Alice Cooper.
Okay.
Yeah, because I met him once, and he jammed something for me, and I was like, dude, I need to do this as well. So yeah, he's the reason I started to play guitar.
Dude, hell yeah. How old were you?
I'm 26.
Oh, how old were you when you
Oh,
met Alice Cooper?
I think like about 13, and then I
Okay.
started playing guitar at 14.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, and at what point did you meet I guess at what point did you meet the guys in Paleface, and when did the band actually form?
That's a funny story. So I had a local band before Paleface Swiss, and we played in Zurich once. And actually, there was I need to tell something right before that. So I met a girl once, and we started dating, and I fell in love, blah blah blah. And then one day she just like stopped texting me, and I was like, yeah, what the fuck, what's up? And she told me she once told me that she know a boy from my area as well, which and he listens to metal as well, and that was actually Sally, our singer. And the day after, or 2 days after, she stopped texting me, and I was very confused. And then I found out Sally and the girl started dating, and
Oh
I
shit.
think they came together. And then I was very upset. And then like 2 months or so passed like, yeah, I was like, yeah, fuck her, fuck him. And then
Yeah.
I played a show. I played a show with my former band in Zurich, and after a show, Sally came to me, and he was like, he he was like, dude, I'm so sorry, I didn't knew you were dating her, and she never told me something. And I was like, dude, fuck it, man, let's have a beer, let's be best friends. And since then, we're best friends. And he was like, yeah, can you help me record some demo guitars for my new project? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not? And then now
Wow.
I'm part of the band.
Damn. That's a hell of an origin story.
Bro, crazy. Never thought that we're gonna like conquer the world with that stupid project.
I would imagine they're not together anymore.
Yeah, they're not together. No.
Yeah.
They they broke up, and then he found out that we were dating, and then after they
Oh,
broke up,
okay.
he came to the show in Zurich.
Gotcha.
I had
Okay.
to say sorry.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay. And so when, Paleface started, was it kind of difficult to hit an American audience, or was that, I don't know, was that a difficult process, or did it happen kind of naturally?
Not at all. I think
Oh, wow.
we just during COVID we just like did those stupid videos with the chair. I don't know if you remember them. We had like a office chair, and we always did like stupid videos with that chair, like smashing around or just like driving with the chair.
Yeah, yeah.
And we always how do I say that? We always teased like song snippets in the songs with that chair, so it became like it became a thing.
Right.
And yeah, we just blew up with that videos in Instagram because everyone was on their phone during COVID. And
Right.
yeah, when we were able to play live shows, yeah, things came naturally again. And yeah,
That's
then
awesome.
we got some tour offers, and here we are.
Wow. So how long did it take from when the band started to, get those tour offers?
um, we started at 2017 writing like first few songs, and then like the first release was 2018. So I think about 2018 first songs, then came COVID for about 2 or 3 years, and then 2022 I guess was the first US run. I'm not sure.
Oh, so that was pretty
About
quick
four
then.
4 years.
Yeah, wow. That was pretty fast. Well,
Crazy.
that's awesome. Congratulations on that. That's
Thanks, man.
great.
Never mentioned that. So thanks goes out to our fans who supported us from the very first second. So that's
Totally.
basically all I can say. Big thank you to the people who support us.
Hell yeah. And I want to tell you, can I tell you the story about how I got introduced to Paleface?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so it could be a very personal story here. So, so okay, so in 2022, I went through a nasty breakup with my ex-fiance, and dude, like it destroyed me. Right? It's been one of like the most difficult things like I've had to experience, throughout my life, but super necessary, right? And during that time, I felt, like I was a shell of myself. But, like one day on Apple Music, uh, Paleface came up, and it was Death Touch. And oh my God. First time I heard that song, it ignited the fire in me that has been missing for a long time at that point. And dude, like, holy shit, I'm even kind of getting emotional talking about it right now, to be honest with you. But dude, like during that time, dude, like I've accomplished so much in my life within like those 3 years. And I'm proud to say that I've become like the best version of myself now. And a lot of that is because of you guys, is because of Paleface. That song was what like brought that back into me. That's like what snapped me out of like that bullshit. You know what I mean? So for that, thank you so much.
Dude, that means a lot to hear actually. And uh, like those stories from fans like you or keep me going, like doing that, because yeah, that means very much to me. Thank you so much, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate
for
it.
sure. Yeah, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't that the first single from Fear and Dagger?
The first single was That Man's Diary.
Oh,
I
okay.
think that was the second one.
Okay.
And with that single, we announced Fear and Dagger.
Oh, okay. So that makes sense. Yeah, because when
Yes.
I heard that song, like I immediately, started following you guys, and that's when I'm like, oh, okay, so the full album's about to come out.
Yeah,
So
let's go.
once that album came out, I was like, dude, holy shit. And to this day, I feel like Paleface is the fucking heaviest band on the planet, in my personal opinion. And I
Means a
stand by
lot.
that.
Thank you. Appreciate it, man.
Hell yeah, dude.
Fuck yeah.
And and yeah, let's switch gears a little bit here, man. So I'm a guitar player as well, and it sounds like we're both big fans of ESP guitars and
Yeah,
Neural DSP.
definitely. Yeah.
So is it okay if we geek out a little bit about some
Yeah,
gear?
sure. Let's go.
All right. Hell yeah. So you're endorsed by both Neural DSP and Engel. So I'm curious, how do you utilize both in your rig?
Um, Engel was my first guitar amp, which I bought yeah, like 10 years ago. And I still use that amp for album recordings because it's my favorite amp. And of course, I made a capture.
Yeah.
So I use like my angle capture from my head on my Neural DSP. And that's the sound I identify with the most.
Okay.
So
So is it the Fireball that you use?
yes, it's like a little bit of a modified version. It's the Fireball Extreme Aggression. It's the signature amplifier from Creator.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I modified it a little bit. I also use like a, a, a gain. How do I say that? Like a
Overdrive pedal?
oh, it's not an overdrive pedal. It's just like it pushes the gain a little bit
Okay.
to make it a bit more clear. It's like I'm not sure. I don't have it here. I have it in my home studio. I'll let you know. It's like it's like maybe it's an overdrive drive pedal which like pushes the gear a little bit, and I use that with my angle, with my angle head, and that's the sound, you hear on the album kind of,
Gotcha.
and on
Is
the
it
live shows, of course.
So I guess like with the Quad Cortex, is that what you tour with?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's the most easiest thing. It's like you can take it in your backpack kind of, and have like all the sounds you need.
Gotcha. So when you perform live with it, do you use in-ears? Or are you using just like stage monitors, or how do you go about it?
No, we're on in-ears to make it like as tight as possible, because I always think we play very easy music, like very just like stomp your face riffs kind of, and like all the bands who play that as well mostly play without in-ears, and we thought, why let's use in-ears to make it like as tight as possible. And I think that's the thing, who that's the thing that's our thing, kind of like
Right.
tight and just heavy,
Right. Yeah, because I mean, if it's tighter, it hits harder, in my opinion,
Definitely.
anyway.
That's what I wanted
Okay.
to say.
Yeah, for sure. I got you. And what drew you to ESP?
I think my first guitar I bought was an ESP as well. So I like all my life I played ESP, and of course I tried like Jackson and Fender and Gibson, but I always came back to ESP because it it just felt right for me. And why should I change something when it feels right, So I always stick to ESP.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm a huge ESP guy as well.
Same.
I have a ton of ESPs over there that you can't see on camera, but yeah, I have a ton of Stephen Carpenter signature model guitars,
Oh, sick.
and I don't know, like kind of what you were saying. It just feels right. Like I feel like the ESP necks, like the neck profiles, just fit so perfectly in my hands.
Definitely.
And it's just one of those things. I mean, we all have different sets of hands, right? And this just fits. It just feels perfect. You know what I mean? And yeah, so something that I'm been like kind of curious about is you've mainly stuck with 6-string guitars, right? I've always seen you use just 6-string, right?
Yeah, that's my thing, because I don't like 7 strings and 8 strings, because like there's just too much strings. Like 6 is enough for me, and with the right string gauge, it's possible to play drop G sharp tuning. So and with like 25.5 scale guitars, for me it's perfect, and also it just feels right for me. So I do what feels right.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And what strings are you using? Like what gauge and what company?
Actually, I use like 68 to 14, like very thick strings. Actually, um, till till now I use D'Addario strings, the EXL 157. But I got an endorsement now from Ernie Ball.
Nice.
So I will change to Ernie Ball for the next couple of shows to
Hell yeah.
to just try it out. But I think it shouldn't change that much because I will use like the exact same gauge as I used with D'Addario. So yeah,
For sure.
right now D'Addario, but on the next few shows tours Ernie Ball.
Hell yeah. Well, let me know what you think of this.
Yes.
Well, I mean that's the right time to test it, right? When you're on tour.
Definitely.
That's awesome. But yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, you're also a guitar teacher too, right?
Yeah, I do like guitar lessons. I try to, but yeah, I mean it's a lot of fun. There's a good amount of people who are my students now, and I think like it's not the typical guitar lesson because I always learn as well from my students. I'm definitely not a guitar virtuoso with like crazy soloing stuff. I just try to give my students what I learned throughout the years, and I think that's exactly what they need and what they want because and it's a lot of fun for me to do that.
For sure. And what initially got you into wanting to be a teacher?
I'm not sure actually. I just came up with the idea once and I began to like it, and then I just tried it out once and it felt right again. That's why I love to do that.
Well, that's cool. And for you personally, are you like a learned guitar player? Like, do you dig into theory or anything like
No,
that? Or are you
not
more
at
like
all.
self-taught?
Yes, self-taught. I had like 10 guitar lessons when I started playing guitar, with a bit of theory, but I forgot everything kind of, and then I I just opened YouTube and Songster and Ultimate Guitar, and then I learned everything by myself. So,
Well,
and
hey,
actually,
kudos.
I think my personal opinion, if you learn everything by yourself, your ears, that it's the best way for your ears to I don't know how should I explain that? Like you
Fine tune your
train,
ears.
you
Yeah.
train your ears to know which note is right and which note is wrong in the context, you know?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I guess what's your approach? I know you said that you're not like typical guitar like lessons, right? So what's your approach on, when you get a new student?
That depends on the student.
Right.
They always also so I always try to ask the student, what do you want, what do you learn, what's your approach kind of, and then I try to get into him kind of, and find out what's the best thing for him or for her.
Gotcha. So let's just say I hit you up one day. I'm like, yo, I want to learn how to just like really get better at just those chuggy, heavy, genty riff writing stuff. What would your approach be? Because I mean, actually, let's step back for a second. So for Paleface, you're mainly using, you said G sharp tuning, right?
Yes, only G sharp.
Okay, gotcha. I've written a few songs in G sharp. So okay, so let's say yo, man, I want to get my riffs to sound heavier because I'm more of a melodic guy. Well, what would your approach be?
I guess the first thing would be to go over his gear, what he uses, maybe try to readjust the settings a bit, and then I think I would learn him a few Paleface riffs, kind of to just get get into him how it feels like to play those heavy riffs, and then I think we kind of evolve together into the lesson, and just go with the flow, kind of.
Gotcha. Okay. I dig that, right? Because it's not super, how should I say this? Not super technical approach, right?
Oh,
It's more of
no.
like, let's feel this person out. Like, what attaches to them? Like, what brings them in? And you just make that connection and it just starts rolling from there. It's a really
Exactly.
personable way to do it, which I
Yes.
respect. I respect
Cool.
that.
Fuck yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So let's kind of dig into something a little different here. So, what's the most difficult thing about being an artist and an entrepreneur, in your opinion?
Being away from home. Like as
Fair
as a touring artist, for me, it's that's the most the hardest thing, being away from home, from my loved ones. That's, I think that struggle will be like forever for me
Gotcha.
until the day I stop touring. That will be the hardest thing, definitely.
I mean, that makes sense. And kind of curious here. So, how good do you think you are at taking care of your own mental health?
That's a good question. I think I'm good, but I'm still learn every day when I'm on tour. I know I know when I have to go to bed or have like me time. So and everyone is respecting that, kind of. But I still learn every day when I'm not at home, kind of.
Right. And is it difficult for you? Like, is it hard, like, mentally to be on the road all the time, doing all these shows,
I
being
think
away from home?
it gets better. It's like in the beginning, so it was like horror, kind of. But with all the tours, with getting in this tour mode, it gets better and better.
Gotcha. And what helped you in the beginning to start getting used to it?
Just talk with the boys, just like having conversation about it. We always try to ask ourselves every morning, like, how are you feeling? How was your night? How was your day? Just to get a little a reset before everything starts again. And then we try to help each other. And just try to respect each other. So we are not a band. We are just like we are a family, like
Right.
we all work together. We all like feel together. I think that's without that I would have stopped touring, actually. But
Oh, really?
yeah,
Gotcha. And so are you all like full-time like Paleface, or do you all have like, side jobs when you come home?
we still work like 100%, actually. So
Okay.
yeah, we are all kind of self-employed, so we can choose when we have to work. But we all work beside Paleface. So
Okay. And I guess what do you do when you're home?
I'm self-employed. I'm a carpenter. Uh, yeah, and I have my own. How do I say that? My own little construction sites
Oh, okay.
going on. So yeah,
Gotcha.
fuck yeah.
Well, yeah, that much respect to you, man, for being able to balance all that. Kind of like what we're talking about earlier. Like, it really seems like you all are very active with the band, and knowing now that you have work when you come home too. So I mean,
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, it gets more and more every day, but but it helps being self-employed. So, for example, today I knew I will have a podcast in the morning, so I had a free I planned a free day today, so to do like band stuff as well, and I will begin to work at Friday again.
Gotcha.
So
And I
yeah, it's like always like a little bit of a scheduling thing, but I love it. So, and now I'm also able to take a day off when I need it, or when I think today I feel like I need to write music or just to hang out.
Totally.
Makes it much easier, definitely.
Nice. And I got a little bit of a two-part question for you. What's the long-term goal for you as an artist, and what's some short-term goals?
Definitely a long-term goal is to live from the music, kind of. So,
Mm-hmm.
and to don't worry about my my rent and the of course, like it's always a money thing, but
Right.
it's just, it is how it is. That's life, kind of.
Right.
And short-term goal right now is to just try to relax a bit, because we have like 3 months month off right now. So I try to relax, reset, and being like 100% ready for next year for the headline tours.
Hell yeah. And I guess, what are the steps you think you need to take to be able to get over that hump to achieve those goals?
Just push forward as we did like for the last 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're on a good way. I think we're good.
And so do you all see that consistent growth when it comes to, like,
Definitely.
let's just okay, cool.
Yeah.
Look,
Definitely.
well, hell yeah. Well, y'all
And
deserve it.
it makes us like push forward even harder, because we feel it's gonna be good when we're on top.
Yeah, and I guess with that being said, what advice would you have for a band or a musician who's trying to break through into the scene?
I think promotion is the A and O. Try to make videos. Try to make as much music as possible. And of course, the right connections are important as well.
Right. And I guess the next step to that, what advice would you give to musicians to remain successful as they continue to grow?
That's a good question, because I did not experience it yet.
Sure.
Because I know we're growing every day, but there wasn't a time when we were stuck growing. You know what I mean? Maybe, I don't know. Try to get better. Try to write even better songs. I know it's always a pressure, but try to like top your albums you wrote before, and so on. But I'm not sure if I can answer that properly, to be honest.
Yeah, you said something interesting there. That it's something that I kind of struggle with a little bit, and I want your opinion on this. So I'm the type of person who, like, whenever I create something, whether it's music or a video or whatever, right? I analyze it a lot. Like, I'll study it. I'll like pick it apart, like study it like game film. You know what I mean? Like, I like what I did here, didn't like what I do here. All right, the next thing I'm gonna do is gonna be better. It's gonna be better, and like it just kind of, that cycle continues. But what I struggle with is that I can't appreciate the art I've done for what it is. Like, I'm always looking at, like, whatever, I could do it better, or I
I
could
know
do it
it.
better than the last one. Do you
I know.
experience that at all?
Not really, because when we write a song, we try to we don't try to do what you told me right now. So when we have the song, we listen to it like 5 times. If we're happy, we were gonna release it.
Okay.
We don't think about like, is it really what we want? Is it really what the people want? Is it better than better than the past releases?
Sure.
We just, like, you won't find any song material on our computers which is unreleased.
Okay.
There isn't a unfinished song or a song or a finished song which is not released. we just release everything, and that's our way to work.
Gotcha. And I guess how does that process look for you? Like from demo stage, you touched on it a little bit, like, but like from the songwriting, the demo stage to the final version.
So yeah, actually, as I told in the beginning, we have like the song parts. Then we meet up, we glue it together, try to bring in a one red line in the song, and then we listen to it like for a few weeks, and if we're happy with it, we record it and we release it. That's how it goes.
Okay, and I know you mentioned too, you work with the producer. Does your producer give like any sort of like creative input, or like do you rely on your producer for any type of creative input or feedback?
It depends on the song, actually. When of course there are songs which are a bit like, we're not sure about that, we're not sure about this, and then mostly our producer gives his input as well, and then we try to find like the perfect solution for that song, and then we record it and release it.
Gotcha. Okay.
So with that being said, the record was written in like 2 weeks. The new record.
Shit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
And we didn't change much at all. So
that's insane.
That's you just imagine the song you listen to is like as it is mostly like
like the demo
that? Yes the raw
okay.
Just the raw demo. Of course there's production and stuff,
right.
But mostly it's just the raw demo you listen to in the finished.
So I'm curious then, like how long did you spend on each song then for guitars?
In the recording process?
In the writing.
In the writing, it depends. Maybe a few hours a day.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
That's impressive. Holy shit. And it blows me away because like for me personally, it takes like a month or two for me to like really feel like good, like to have a song written, recorded, demo process, get feedback from my producer and stuff like that. Like holy shit, but you guys are just really just fucking going for it. That's badass. Wow. I might need to pick your brain a little bit after this, man, because that's
of course.
That's fucking awesome, dude. Well, we'll circle back to that after this conversation. Well, cool, dude. I got an interesting question here for you. Just in general, what scares you?
Being alone.
Okay. In what way?
Good question. I know I'm never alone. I know, but I think when I'm at home, I'm scared to be alone. Like, because when I'm on the road, I'm always with my friends. But if I didn't had my family, or if I lost my family, or you know what I mean, I will be like alone, because we have like different lives, and everyone has his own thing to do, and I think that scares me the most, actually, being alone when I come home.
Gotcha. So from what I can gather, it seems like you're really close with your family. Is that right?
Oh yeah.
That's awesome, man. And so I take it they've been really supportive of everything that you've done, like as an artist from the beginning.
Definitely. And I'm very thankful for that.
Dude, totally. That's awesome, dude. So on the flip side of that, what excites you?
To go on the road again.
Yeah.
To play the new album, play my favorite songs we ever wrote. And I'm very excited for the next few tours. But I'm also like thankful right now to, as I told, like breathe a little bit, reset, and prepare for the next few steps we're gonna make.
Hell yeah. And I guess looking at the big picture here, What do you hope to achieve by the end of your career? I know that's looking way down the road. That's way down the road. But what do you hope to achieve by the end of that?
Being happy. Just being like happy what I achieved, what I did, my work, my albums, my music, you know.
Gotcha.
It's easy.
And then how would you define success? Like, what would make you happy? How would you measure your happiness? How do you measure happiness?
That's also a good question. I think I will measure it as I feel right now, because right now I'm very happy. I can basically live from the music. I can like choose when I have to work, when I have to when I want to make music. So I think I'm the happiest right now, to be honest.
That's great, dude. It's awesome that you could be very happy yet still just make just angry ass music. I love that. See, you don't always have to be miserable, right, to create angry art, right?
Oh no, not at all. I think if you're happy, your songs are gonna be like way harder.
That's interesting. Why do you think that is?
I'm not sure. Just good times, good vibes, and try to be as angry as possible. But just try.
Right. And I guess, like, do you think do you think it flows easier? Like when you're happy, you're a bit more clear minded and it just comes out more naturally versus if you're angry, it's just kind of like, fuck, you know?
Yes. I think when you're angry, you're like stuck. You're like cramped. Is that a word? Like,
sure.
Yeah. Yeah. You're cramped. And when you're happy, you're as you told, like you can flow with anything you write, you know, even if it's a happy song.
Yeah, I'm actually shocked right now. Like, honestly, for how heavy of a band you guys are, like I said, I said in my opinion, you guys are the heaviest band. Just to hear that a lot of that is being fueled by happiness.
Oh yeah,
it's actually very refreshing.
Yeah, we're a bunch of idiots try to make heavy music, and I think that works.
That's fucking awesome, man. I love that. That just made me a hell of a lot happier knowing that. That's dope. I had another question for you. I guess, like, throughout your whole process of growing with Paleface, what's a life lesson that you've learned that you would share with somebody?
Actually, like I think that not in a musical way, but in a personal way, or in a like to say what's right and what's not right, to say how you feel, or to just talk about your feelings, talk about yourself. And like, how do I say that? I learned a lot. I learned a lot to talk to, as I talk about my feelings, talk what I think, what's wrong, what's right.
Just expressing yourself, just being vulnerable.
Expressing yourself, that's the word.
Love it. And I guess from a business standpoint too, because it sounds like it pretty much went pretty fast for you, the growth with Paleface. How has the business side been for y'all? Has it been difficult to catch on? Because I know the music industry is a very complex industry to be in.
I think we had a lot of luck, because we had as I told, we had the right connections at the right time. We met our manager Chris like right before COVID, and he took care of us. He led us to the right people, to our distributor, and sorry, they were a big part of our growing process.
Gotcha. And now that you've been in it in the music industry for a little while now, is there anything that you wish was different about the music industry? Is there certain things you don't like about it, or is it just?
I mean, I think we did the rightest thing. We are all DIY, you know. We have no label, no nothing. We can do whatever we want, and I think that's, if you are on a label, you're fucked basically, because you won't earn any money.
Right.
The songs are not yours anymore, you know. And
Right.
I think we did the right thing, and I would never do anything else.
And do you think that's where the industry is going now? At least like for the metal in particular, that doing it DIY is the best way at this point?
Yes, yes. Especially for metal, definitely.
Well, hey man, I appreciate your time. Let's go ahead and just get this wrapped up. I'm excited to put this together and release it.
Dude, thank you so much for having me. If we should do that ever again, I'm way more than down. So yeah, just hit me up. And yeah, I'm excited to listen to your podcast.
If you enjoyed this episode, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button to stay on top of new episodes of Inside the Wounds.